Let's get real on winnfm. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. Real talk with Lavi covers it all. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Let's get real on winnfm. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. Real talk with Lavi covers it all. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. and good evening to you. You're live with Real Talk with Lavi, and I am from the island of St. Kitts and Nevis. For those of you that just in tune, I just want to let you guys know, welcome. It's good to see you. It's good to have you here. I just had someone saying that they have not been back to St. Kitts in the past 20 years. Could you imagine? Mr. Tazoom Williams, he says, shout out to my high school, Convent High School people. So this is Mr. Tazumi, I hope I'm calling his name right. And he is saying he haven't been home for the past 20 years. You see how important it is, social media it is, people. This is how we're able to connect with people who have been away for a very, very long time. And just by doing this, I'm not hearing anything in here. Huh? But I'm not hearing anything. Okay. Anyway, once again, this is Lavi Gumbs. I am back here today to present Real Talk with Lavi. Tonight we're going to have an open discussion. And I just want to take some time out to say good evening to Miss Glenette Duport. She said, good night, Lavi. How are you? All is well? Girl, all is very well. Tonight, I decided we're going to continue our open discussion, being able to be a little bit more free spirit, that we can help some of our people that are still in the mental slavery, that are in that box, and this is how we are able to connect by bringing the important topics and conversation that can help every one of us. All right? So, folks out there in the radio land, good night to you. Good night to the people up there in Bird Rock. Good night to the people in Frigate Bay, McKinley Heights. Good night to Bastille. Good night, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good night wherever you are. Once again, I am Lavi Gumbs, and I seem to be having my voice. I went out last night at CPL. I had a wonderful time. I don't want to say I'm disappointed because it was really a good game. And when it comes to sports, right? People don't know what's going to happen. And it was really a really good game. Our very own, I'm not even going to call his name, and I want to tell the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, y'all have to be kind to our people, because then every time you go in and they're going to make 50 and they're going to make 100. There are times that they're going to get not. Yeah, that's what the game is about. We got to encourage our people and don't discourage them. Yeah, he went in and make 2. How much I could I make if I went in India? It would have been really nice to see him shine. I understand it's his birthday as well, so it would have been nice to see him shining. But I don't know, maybe Dwight could tell me what happened, But, St. Kitts people ain't easy. If you're accustomed to go to Warner Park, to the Queen shows, football, cricket, once you ain't deliver for them and you ain't win, you don't get what. So I'm just going to be the one to give some support to all those young men last night that, on both sides, all end that was able to make CPL possible and for us to go on out and enjoy a wonderful evening and watching, high-class professional cricket right here in our beautiful Federation, St. Kitts. Yeah. Good night once again. Tonight's topic, we're going to speak about a number of things. We're going to touch on customer service. It's very timely. And we're also going to speak about smoking and substance abuse. People that are smoking, whether the drinking, the smoking, or any kind of smoking, that are bringing their habits on social media. People, they say the place is a free place, but you got to be careful of your identity. You got your identity to uphold. There's a limit. Yeah. There's a limit as to how you do things. And unfortunately, we live in a small place, things that we do in America. I'm not saying that you can't do some of the things here, but as they say, when you go home, you do like what they do in home. I don't follow Lavi, you know, me could come outside of the box. They try all kind of things. They listen. They write me up. They do all kind of things on social media and in a work. Because Lavi just like French weed. And to ask Dwight Wilkinson about me. I am like French weed, so you got to be very, very careful. Don't watch people and say, well, this person get away with it. So if you're a doctor, right? If you're a doctor, a lawyer, especially people in the white collar professions, you got to be careful people not get lost with social media. Don't get lost with social media. Do not follow everybody, especially if this was not something that you were doing before, right? If you wasn't a customer doing it, don't go follow people, go on TikTok. You know, just how you get up and how you feel, you just decide to come on and speak. People gonna think you're crazy, you're gone mad. Yeah, it's people when you're in emotional problems, when you have issues, whatever, things ain't going good with you anymore, you'll be surprised, right, that it is easy. Facebook say, what's on your mind? And you're giving people that chance to just come on and say what's on their mind. But a lot of people are using social media to bully people, to say things to get validated, to probably sound like they're the most intelligent. But at the same time, again, if you are a doctor, a lawyer, prime minister, anybody that hold leadership position, you got to be careful what you bring to social media. I've heard a lot of people saying they're not going to go by a certain doctor because of their behavior. They're not going to go by a certain person because of how they're behaving on social media. So you got to be very careful, people, of what you're putting out on the internet. Again, don't follow everybody. Lavi Gumbs could get away. I'm very free spirit. Also, I am in the entrepreneur business, not just from now. So we're a bit more free, okay? If you work for government, people, protect your job. Protect your job if you work for government. You hear what I said? If you work for government, you can't just go and protect your party, your political party. Protect your job. Go on and do your job professionally. Yeah, there's certain people that are working for government should not be on social media engaging in the negative, in the bullying. I just can't watch people because other people out there doing it. So, again, I just got to let persons out there know, if you're a doctor, y'all know the doctors there, man. I know who to come on social media. This is Real Talk with Lavi, by the way. It is 8:15. This is Lavi Gumbs, live and direct, right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this is a program that we bring hard topics, but very respectful. You hear me? Yeah, we bring things that people are afraid to touch. And many of them, they come and say, "Yo, Lavi, you're doing a good job." And believe it or not, the oligarchs them too. So it's all about being human. People want the best for St. Kitts. So don't think because I see certain things on social media, when you see all the lot of likes and ha ha ha, it don't mean that behind closed doors, the people that are supposed to really support you, if you're losing them, something is wrong. Right? And I'm speaking for myself too, because I always use myself as example. This is why I choose the song. If you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Mr. Tazum Williams, thank you for being here. I think this is one of the first time I'm seeing you. He said, shout out to my neighbor, Dr. MacArthur. So he sounds like he's from Mali News if he's a neighbor. Are you from Mali News? right? So, Dr. MacArthur, big up yourself. Yeah. And this is what we're talking about. And doctor, as in a PhD, not in medical, eh? So, it's a big difference. You know, everybody had the little profession and the identity. But I also want to just let persons out there in St. Kitts and Nevis, right? It is time to educate yourself. No amount of politician, no amount of who? Your friend them, no amount of likes gonna make you educated. People, educate yourself. The best education in this world is educating yourself. And tonight, like I said, we're gonna be touching on a number of topics. So if you're out there tonight and you want to call in to share your views, your just give your opinion, but respectfully, and some of the things that you want to help other people in this beautiful country. So these are some of the topics we're going to be speaking about tonight. How do you feel persons that are in the medical field have their profession degree? So they're now called doctor, lawyers, policemen, politicians, you name it, attorney general. I think you guys understand where I'm coming from, right? Good night to Mr. Arthur Gray. So how do you feel? Social media, everybody now waiting to go on social media to either bash somebody or to rant or to share something positive. But let us take a deep look into persons that are in the medical field. You're talking about people who are supposed to be upholding certain integrity, privacy as a doctor, and you're going to just go on social media all of a sudden, and it is political, ruining your career. We don't want to have this kind of thing that other young men and young women. And we could have the argument that doctors are human too. Yeah, we very well know that. But for doctors in particular, doctors who take care of the sick, doctors who help heal people, make people well. How do you feel? And you could put it on the thread here, you could call in. How do you feel? You have your doctor on social media ranting and saying things that can be perhaps maybe a little on a one-on-one, like certain things is personal that really don't have anything to do with the media, but just that person expressing themselves. So persons now are wondering, mental illness is human. Yeah, it's human, it's attack. Mental illness. So it has no limit to whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever profession. And when we are going to see doctors that go away to study these kind of high-profile jobs, but they take the time to go on social media and on TikTok to rant, to curse the Prime Minister. And you know the good thing about these things? This is Real Talk with Lavi. We bring the hot soup. We bring what is happening, what is trending right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Okay? You know the thing about it? They come on social media to rant for themselves because they wasn't ranting all the time. They come on the social media to talk bad about the Prime Minister. But a lot of it is personal. And when we're going to have personal things, if a doctor cannot control himself and go to social media to trash his once buddies, and talk bad about them, looking all crazy, looking all unkept. And then we're going to tell ourselves nothing wrong with that doctor? Something is wrong whether we like it or not. It has something named depression. And I've seen today where persons are reaching out to me and say that they are going through mental illness. Some of them told me, Lavi, I live in St. Kitts. I don't know the people in St. Kitts. I don't know where to go. And all I could tell them, go by gender affairs. So mental illness is real. And if a lot of us are blind to these things, because if you see somebody all of a sudden used to be well sharp, well kept, clothes well, iron out, the tight up clothes, them young professionals dress. They have a certain type of pants, you know what I mean? Tailored cut, tailored fit. And all of a sudden now, you're not comb your hair, you're not shave, your beards them look all nappy in your face. And I'm speaking in general, people. In general. Could go out for children as well. And you see the pattern of how they're looking. And you are telling me that nothing wrong with them? Something is wrong. It's not a lot of people can deal with changes, especially when they get in a lot of six figures. Easy money from the government. And when they pull from them, that is why my mother always told me you gotta learn how to live with and live without. All right? So I am going to send this message out to anyone that need this tonight on the Real Talk from Lavi. People, stop trying to impress people. Because I've learned that the greatest thing ever to achieve is something that money cannot buy, believe it or not. That's peace. What else? What else money can buy? Tough house. What else money can buy? Like what? Just name one. Happiness. Money cannot buy happiness. And this is why we know a lot of people are not happy. Just look on social media how they comment. And the sad thing is, a lot of these people are over 45 years old. A lot of people cannot deal with, they said the world change. The world ain't change. It's moving with the world, keeping abreast of time. But a lot of people cannot handle depression. Depression is a big killer, just like diabetes. It's a killer. Diabetes is one of the number one killer. Underlying disease, diabetes. It goes with your limbs. It can make you blind. You see, people have to amputate their legs, sometimes their toes. It starts off with maybe one toe, then two, then you look at the piece of the foot. When you look, the whole foot, green. So it is very important that people got to spend time on their health. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams. He said, money cannot buy love. And this is what's missing for a lot of us. We forget our purpose. And if you're conscious, as some people think they are conscious and spiritual, you wouldn't be coming on social media 24/7 just ranting. And sometimes things ain't gonna go your way. But this is how you know how people are, how strong they are. Let to that tomorrow they ain't have no money. They ain't driving around in the fancy vehicle. They ain't live in a certain place. They ain't got certain friends. Let that day happen. And you see how many of them come. Depression. You've seen it all over the world with those Hollywood stars. All over the world. And sometimes you see a lot of them. Then people that you don't expect will do things like that. take their own life. That is something deep. So there's a lot of people are hiding behind, especially men. You know, I feel like the world have men that they're supposed to be so strong, they're like a rock. So they don't show their feelings and their emotions enough. And by the time they want to share it, it is too late. Okay? It is too late because at that time, you keep so much battled up inside of you. And out there trying to make your friends think that everything is okay. And sometimes even your friends just remember when I say this, you know who is your friend when they tell you the truth. And you know most of the time how you're going to get to know? Because when your friends tell you the truth, most of the time you don't want to hear it. It's when things happen, you say, bye. He was telling me this all the time, you know. But you see, people don't like to hear the truth, and this is exactly what is happening. People do not like to hear the truth. But if you have a friend and you see the changes in your friend, you can find a way. And even if you don't want to tell him, you should try and seek help and get someone that could talk to the person. Because when big people are going through mental illness, what's going to happen? A lot of big people don't handle that well because we think mental illness is for certain type of people, the poor people, the vulnerable. But all of us can be vulnerable, frustrated. We will face these things in life. I want to take some time to say a pleasant good evening to Mr. Austin Buchanan, that's the man Squidly, up there at the 24 Hours gas station. This is a hard-working guy. So good night to you, Squidly. But yes, tonight we have an open discussion. And the reason why I'm speaking about these things, oftentimes when we think about having this discussion, we say, Lavi, bring in the specialists, bring in the people that are trained in this profession. But sometimes Lavi needs to actually speak from experience, her experience with other people as well, and share these things. Because even some of the people that are in the profession, I think they don't have mental illness too, they have mental problems as well. Social workers, everybody are human, people go through things, especially when it comes from things that happen from close friends and family. Because that is where it starts most of the time. Most of the time is the people that we have in our space. And this is why it's very important. The people that you have in your space, you can't fix everybody. But if you see your men friend, men, I'm speaking to you at this time. If you see one of your male friend behaving strange, stop laugh up with him and he. And tell him directly. Tell him directly, look him in his face, hold him, boost him up and say, listen, boy, you got to check yourself. But I know you can't go on social media and talk everything. What happened? Just because you went Cuba or you went Jamaica, you went Guyana with somebody, so everything that happened there, you're going to come back out and speak about it? Boy, he's a big man here and a little boy. Leave them there for the toddlers, them. Or you talk to the man, them straight women are looking, young girls are looking, young boys are looking. And when I said that, young children are looking up to these people that's going like parrots. And they often find when people are damaged, they find other damaged people. And that is the problem. That is the problem. When you're damaged, if something mash up and broke up, how you going to go with somebody who mash up and broke up? How you expect to get back? So, if any doctors out there in the Federation right now listening to me, this is St. Kitts. The place is small.
We are not open to these kind of things. We are not accustomed to seeing doctors on social media and on TikTok blazing the smoke. All because I said the marijuana legal. You got now to uphold your identity. You have children looking up to you. And these things are not right. And when the oppositions run away with these things, because the oppositions right now are so desperate. And I'm speaking about any opposition, even the government, because there was once opposition. Desperate. They run on the negative, the same negative that they know is not good for the country and for the people. But they run on it to convince the mediocre. Yeah, to convince them, the vulnerable, people that are frustrated, people that are on their knees. So when the opposition them out there, and I'm telling you this, because I am not going to get caught up with no one using me, or the opposition going to come and use me because I said something. They're not my friend, people, and they're not your friend. The only time you know when they are your friend is when they go in office, and they take the oath, and they say, country above self, and you're actually seeing the progress that is happening in the country, in the communities, and you're seeing a difference with the people. You are seeing the people rise for the better positively, right? So when you see doctors, a doctor, not a medical doctor, on social media, blazing up his smoke and forgetting that you have a profession. If you lose your job, so well, you're not going to be the first person to lose your job. Go get a next job. You got a profession, continue with you all life, people. And this is what I realize what is happening here in St. Kitts. The people give up too quick. But why are you giving up too quick? Somebody expect to give you something for free, handouts. But always remember, handout, and so it will come out. Nothing lasts forever. As they say, that too shall pass. Pull yourself up. Peter Tosh, the late Peter Tosh, I think he have a song say, I'll pick myself up. You understand? He sang some very, very powerful songs. So, persons that are out there saying that how, oh, they're spiritual and they're this and they're that. Spiritual people don't come on social media to knock down somebody out to prove how smart and how bright they be. Even when they're making sense. But at the same time, making sense, you still have to look at the individual. Look at the individual. A lot of us have a good way of hiding things. But when you see persons who was not accustomed, mind you, maybe that's how they was, but it's just social media bringing it out for them. But when you see people on social media, using social media to come on and just rant, all of a sudden talk about the prime minister, where wife the prime minister never come prime minister. Would you guys come on and saying the same thing? So technically it's a grudge. And this is what destroying the people in our small federation and our communities. We allowing that evil, the bad mind, the crab in barrel, jealousy, looking at other person. I ain't had a profession before. Y'all ain't have a profession. And again, any political figure that are out there encouraging persons or hoping to strive on the negative to get into office, is the same thing is going to happen. And the people that they're out there striving on, they ain't going to employ them. So stop fooling the people. They're not going to employ them. It is about time we take a stand in St. Kitts and Nevis. You know how many people listen. People are coming to Lavi Gumbs. Lavi Gumbs, why you don't run? We will support you. And I'm speaking about even somebody, the CBI holders, people. The people are really looking and seeing what is happening in St. Kitts, that we cannot continue with this lack of integrity. We cannot continue misleading the people. And we have to basically, yeah, you want them to have their degree, but how about some experience? How about some integrity? How about some morals on your job? Yeah, because it is lacking. It is lacking, and this is why a number of our people in our beautiful island, we want the best for them. We expect that they're supposed to have certain things. But I will say this to you, and this ain't just come from me. It comes from a number of people. A lot of the people are not ready to move in the country. And this is why the foreigners can come in our island and excel. A lot of them are not much different from us in terms of, you think they can behave them kind of way, how the Kittitians behave? But they are mindful that they're running a business. But Kittitians, all of a sudden, Kittitians feel that they can just go on social media and write up something. Let me tell you how bad it is in this country. On social media, there's a young man that plays football, I think, in England. And the government brought him in. And you see women putting up comments. And this guy, I think this guy is only 19, I thought he'd be 21 good, young guy. And women commenting, basically, they think that they could just sell the body, you know. And you know what is so sad? This thing only happened in this small country, island, in a box. Because the way how some of these women down here behaving and feel like they could just go to the men them and say these things openly on social media, and people are going to laugh about it. And I bet you this, right? The majority of those people are dependent upon somebody else, or they don't have their priority together. So now they think that they can just use their beauty. They could use the beauty and think that's it. But there's a lot of men that can look at a woman without being sexualized. Yeah. And if you think about it, someone was drawing this to my attention. Matter of fact, they brought it up today. And they said, Lavi, look at this in St. Kitts. You have so many people here in St. Kitts. You have the Indians, you have the Asians, you have all different people. And we are not seeing a lot of Indian Kittitian babies, mixed breed. And Asians, we're not seeing enough. But they say, Lavi, you go in Jamaica, you have a bunch of Indians, Jamaican, Asian, Jamaican, a mixed breed. They say, Lavi, you go down by the Virgin Islands, you got the Frenchies, everybody up there mixed, you have the Santos, everybody mixed. So, what does that tell you? You have all these men that are in our country, and you don't see them with no wives. I hear the name calling. Mind you, maybe they got the little friend them on the side, eh? But we're talking about publicly. You don't see them. That says a lot about these people culture. It shows that they're focused. You also see them behind the bars. You ever see any one of them junk behind the bars? Go by some of the local bars them. Sometimes even the bartender, he junk too. So are we really ready when it comes to entrepreneurship, moving with the time, to compete and be competitive in our beautiful island. I am Lavi Gumbs. It is 8:41. This is Real Talk with Lavi. Tonight we're having an open discussion. I also want to share something when it comes to the customer service. I'm not going to call the name of the supermarket. And it's not just one supermarket, okay? But a number of persons are complaining, saying, Lavi, customer service in St. Kitts really, really bad. We know customer service in many other places is really bad. But when you go to some of these supermarkets, and I'm not saying all the workers, because you do have one or two good ones, that are courteous. And you will literally go in. All right, so I will hold that. A pleasant good evening. Someone is on the line. A pleasant good evening. This is Real Talk with Lavi.
Good night, Lavern.
Good night.
To all the listeners, home and abroad.
Tough house, I'm not hearing.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me better?
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
I'm not hearing him, Tough house. I can hear you.
What happened? Okay, you could hear me now. Thank you.
No, they sound very far.
Well, probably I'm in a bad zone. I just pulled off the Merrick Parkway heading to the Bronx.
I'm not hearing nothing in here.
Okay.
Do you want me to
Well,
use
I probably may got to call back since you can't hear me. Probably the signal is bad in this area here, but
can you check the mic? Tough house, they can't fix it? Yeah, but I'm not hearing it either. Huh? The call on end is not good. I mean, the customer call, I'm not hearing the customer, but I wasn't hearing anything in the mic at all. All right. If you're listening, you can call back. It will be good to hear your views and your input. But this is Real Talk with Lavi, and I am here to be a part, just like a number of other persons out there want St. Kitts to be a better place, want St. Kitts to start to have more independent-minded people, and, help those that don't know any better, because this is how we learn, right? But I was speaking just before the caller call about the supermarket in particular. You will go to the supermarket and you will literally go down by one of the line, and the workers, some of them will literally pass you straight, no hello, no nothing, Yeah, they will basically don't even acknowledge the awareness of somebody is there passing them. And it is very, very sad. And I know people will say, oh, she think because she went away and she come back and she want to bring this here. No, this had nothing to do with went away. This is something I was taught in my home in St. Kitts and in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, where when you get up at morning time, you say good morning, good afternoon, good night if you see someone. You don't just board on people like that. Much less, if you're working in a supermarket and you see, you're packing the shelf and you see somebody coming down, the least you can do is say, hello, do you need any help? Are you okay? Just say something, acknowledge the person. And I realize what is lacking here in these small islands and this color, the dark skin color, the brown skin color. We ignore what we need to ignore. We don't see, we're not as observant. But if it's something to bring somebody down, you're going to see it. right? So I think a number of persons, like I said, been telling me this, Lavi, why don't you throw out this? Because I think it's time, because the homes is one thing, but in the schools is another. It's time that hospitality, start to really, I'm sure that they have it in the college, but I think that there's certain things in the school for our black people. We need to start paying attention and focus on some of these characteristic traits. It needs to be enforced. And the reason why I'm saying this, if it doesn't start from in the schools, what's going to happen? We are going to continue in our country, all the five-star hotel, all the professional places, we are going to be the minority because a lot of us, we don't have the qualification, we don't have the work ethics, and we are not even trying to get to that level. We just comfortable being basic. Comfortable being basic. So once again, I just got to let everyone know, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. It appears that we have is it a technical problem? So you see what, you probably wasn't seeing what I was trying to tell you, so no. Yeah. All right, so. It is what it is. But yeah, customer service, it is something where I think what can help a lot of people, one of the things that can help a lot of people is to start getting young people when they finish school, when you have, like, say, holidays, Easter holidays, summer break, at the age, I would say 14, they need to start working. Yeah, getting some attachments, and it should not be limited just because you was the brightest in the class. There should be no limitation to all children. All children should not be limited because they didn't pass all their subjects or they ain't had no subjects. It's supposed to be, if possible, the majority of the young children, if they're not going to go to work, they need to be in some kind of summer attachment program, recreation, doing something to help these children to have an imagination. We have to help our children some more. Yeah, we have to start helping our children, and in order to do that, we have to put programs out there. The community centers, so much of politics in the place, people now use the centers and the kind of thing. And imagine, you have the community centers, you have people using it for the dominoes. I heard some of them people keeping church in the community, these communities. So why we can have more usage, maybe upgrade in some of these community, the centers that they have in some of these constituencies. I believe that we need to pour more. We need to pour more into our children, right? We just can't be, everything is like carnival, and as you can see, the costumes basically, when it comes to women, is very sexualized. The woman, all of her parts are outdoor. The boobs are out, the buttocks are out, the pubic out. But when it comes to the man have on his pants, he have on a chunk, everything is covered. Every single thing is covered, right? So we have to be very careful that we need some balance, and this is how we'll talk. This is my, I think I was gifted for something like this. Okay. So as I said, tonight is an open discussion. We had a caller, we lost the caller. It appears that we have some kind of technical, I don't know what it is, but I wasn't able to hear him. I was hearing him, but not clearly. I also want to put this out there where a number of young women, they're coming up to me, people, and they say, Lavi, this person not support the child. Lord, I must name. I look like Judge Judy. I guess they want me to talk about it. But I'm not here to bash anybody, right? When young lady, and when I see her son, I think he's either 15 or 14 or 15 years old. Nice, tall, handsome young man. That's the age where you want a father figure, a man. Mama only could do so much. Mother can only do so much. We are women. We can teach our boys how to be a man only up to a certain point. And when I saw the young man, nice, handsome, easygoing, quiet guy, asked him, one or two questions, and he was very polite. And it is sad that a lot of these young guys in particular, I'm speaking about children, whether female or male, and a lot of these have these fellas out there on social media 247 and not look after the children. I was also mindful where someone said, Lavi, yeah, and this was a guy. He said, Lavi, I don't agree with anybody who don't support the children. But also, if you're going to talk about the men not supporting the children, he said, Lavi, got a lot of men out there get wrong children. Well, that is where the DNA comes in. But he does have a point, and but at the end of the day, I'm speaking about those that are not supporting the children, right? There's no reason that a man, knowing that he have children, he ain't gotta be rich. But if you can go by the bars 247, you drink and you're giving, you're buying for your friends, and you're smoking and you're buying for friends. And you never one time can think about your own flesh and blood. And this is what is happening in our small federation. We have a lot of homes. I went through it, of men, fathers who have not taken on the role of fathership and leadership in fostering their fatherly parenting to their children. Money-wise, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, they're missing out of their children's life. And for what? And the majority of the time, what they do, for an excuse, blame the mother. Blame the mother. But they have never one time done anything to be a part of their children's life. So if you're one of those men that is out there right now, I'm not going to call nobody name. Y'all know who y'all are. If you don't want to support any child, people wear condom. I'll leave the women them alone. But if you're out there right now and you know you have children and you've gone away for years and you left children in St. Kitts, didn't even look back. Did not even look back. Some of them even start the other family and ain't look back. And a lot of men do this here, especially in this race. A lot. They leave the children and they get involved with women. And, some of them don't even look back for their children. And if you go to some of these places like in the prison and you talk to a number of these young men, the majority of time they will tell you they did not have a male figure, a father figure in their life. And a lot of them end up behind prison bar. Yeah, they end up behind prison bar. And I also got to let women, people, young girls, learn from your parents' experiences. Someone told me, you don't learn from your own experience. You don't learn from your own mistakes. They say it is better to learn from others' experience, and it makes sense, because yeah, some people it's a mistake, but ain't a mistake to them. But sometimes it's good when we see things, we see other people. You see your parents struggle, and you have some women are out there just because whatever they went through with men, they hold it. And you know who suffer? Their sons, women suffer. Yeah, because a lot of meddling. They put their sons to choose between the mother or the woman. But people got to be strong and do what is right. People got to be strong and do what is right. All right, so it is 8:57. I have 3 more minutes before I sign out, and I just got to let you guys know that tonight I'm kind of chillaxing. I'm kind of tired too because as I said, I went out last night. I'm not a customer going out and stay out late. Yeah, I'm not a late person unless if I'm out, I'm out. But I am not the kind of person who gonna be out just for the sake of out and drinking. Everybody got a thing, but that's not my thing. But I will support a good cause. Again, I just want to let persons out there, if you know of anyone that are going through depression, people find a way to talk to them. You don't have to go and go play doctor. Do not play doctor, but just listen to them and maybe go and talk to somebody that can go and help these people. Because it is not normal. Don't let nobody fool you. It is not normal to go on social media and on TikTok 247 as a doctor and putting out your business on social media like that. Unless you ain't got a job or you ain't plan to get a job. You could do that. But if you are a young man, you're not even 50 years yet, you're under 50, and you are a young man and going to get caught away, distract with social media. And on social media to convince who? To convince who? You went to school with Dr. Jew. You went to Cuba to study with Dr. Jew. Who cares? Pick yourself up and stop rant and go do something because you're coming across very lazy. And this is not good because it's going over on the young people. And this is what's happening, like I said, in St. Kitts. This is another thing, let me tell you guys what's happening here. Some of these businesses in St. Kitts are supposed to be corporate entities. I am so sorry for some of the workers because you have, for instance, you have some young girls just come out of college and there's no motivation because they go on these jobs. I'm not going to call nobody place, but when they go on their job, they just go there to sit down, take a name, write it, and then they're on the phone like this. On the phone, see? 247, they're on the phone. This cannot be good if you are a young person. Just come out fresh out of school. And you go to work by these places and they just put you to the front. Take the name, and there's no motivation. And this is what's happening in some of these small places. A lot of them don't have any motivations. It looks like some of these businesses don't do enough training and come back in terms of the customer service before the call came in. Some of these places, it's not the individual to be blamed, it's the establishment. There's one particular supermarket in St. Kitts that when I go there, it is such a it's always kept a certain standard, always clean, And the workers, I would say the customer service there is not 100%, but is much better than some of these other places. And I always feel if you go to a place and you're not growing with the business, that's what happened. A lot of the workers, they're just there to get the job. They don't care about the business because the business owners ain't care about them either. And this is what's going on. This is what's going on. But it is 2 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. I want to let Radio Land and people on the internet that is listening. I have been, like I said, working hard behind the scenes, hoping to have an academy. It's a cosmetology and barbering academy, and I am getting ready to open up the doors to start doing some advertisement. And I just want to let the public know that I am looking forward for your support, and also persons out there, if you want a profession, you're serious about it, if you want to improve yourself and basically have a career and to, hopefully eventually you can be a boss. But you got to start by learning a professional trade. I will be opening that doors for many people in just hopefully by next week, you guys should be seeing some advertisement coming out. I'm going to be on the radio and different places within the next 2 weeks. And I'm hoping to perhaps start maybe my first session in October. So I just got to let you guys know whenever you hear that, please, I'm going to be, coming to talk about this some more. But I personally feel that the people in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially skilled trade, it's time that you take your career serious, and it is time that we start really thinking of skilled trade in terms of the technical division. It also has education in it. So it's very important, if you have your business and you're not certified, people try and be certified. Try and have something. It is said that you're not a profession until you have some kind of certified paper to show that you are certified, capable in what you're doing. So I basically, like I said, I'm appealing to the government. Lavi Gumbs is speaking to y'all. If you have people in St. Kitts that want to offer their service, whether they live in St. Kitts or they live overseas, you can't help everybody. But it is time that we bring home, or we invest in capable people. And I'm going to be using myself. People say, oh, don't talk about yourself. Well, I'm talking about myself because I am capable. And if you want professional cosmetologists and barbers in this country, you got to invest. You have to invest in people who can teach the profession, people who understand the profession, both theoretically and practically. So if you have somebody that is doing it and they're only theoretically, just theory, you're going to need someone that can exhibit it, the practical part of it. And since we're not doing this, because we have to stop fooling the people and tell them 3 months and they're certified and they become I call them a hairdresser. But it's not everyone that address hair or cosmetologists or certified professionals. Anyone goes over somebody's head and doing the hair, whether it's braids, they call them a hairdresser. And this is why you find that a lot of people are walking around with damaged hair, A lot of people feel terrible, and that's why they keep on putting back on the wigs, because what's under there, they're not happy with what's under there. And they're not comfortable either going by some of these hairdressers, because a lot of those hairdressers are not professionals. They're just doing hair, but they're not professionals. If you ask them where the apex is, they don't know where the apex is. You ask them where the parietal ridge is, they don't know. Where the occipital bone is, they don't know. The crown of the head, they don't know. The different angles of the head. There's so much things to learn they don't know. They don't know the anatomy. And these are a number of things that needs to be taught. And it is time that in order for government to get a successful workshop done is when you get successful people out of it. And we should have no limit in this country when we're just saying young people. We need to look at all individuals because all lives matter in this country. If someone that is 50 years or 60 years old wants to do cosmetology, we should not have any limit to her and send her home. When I went to cosmetology school, I was just 18 years old, and they had people in the cosmetology class over 50. I don't see why we're shutting down our people and we're just sending them home to sit down to do what? And this is why a lot of people, they're not happy. They're unhappy. A lot of people are emotionally, as someone mentioned it, Mr. Williams, are going through depression. Because as they get older, many don't have a talent to continue. And that's why when people say, Lavi, they say, Lavi, you ain't aging. It's not a matter of not aging. Lavi, you're walking strong, boy. I have people that are just 52, have foot problem, they're overweight, they're obese, they can't walk properly. They got diabetes, they got high blood pressure, they got all kind of things, all kind. And some of them have stressed. And the stress what they have is minding people business. Other people business is stress. Yeah, so they're carrying that. And this is where Lavi Gumbs is offering my space by being able to open something that can help our people. And I don't just want to say young people. Whether you're a teenage mom, it doesn't stop there. So once again, I just want to let you guys know, anyone that is out there that want to support Lavi Gumbs, please inbox me. Anyone that know of anyone that you know will want to, that you want to help, to give them a chance to get a career. Because when I open up my doors, it's going to be very fun, but it's also going to be professional. Yeah, because we have to start teaching and training our dark-skinned people the proper way. Customer service. If you look at some of these businesses, you go to Port Zante, the Indians, customer service, they're approaching you. When sometimes you're passing, they're approaching you. Even when you tell them no. Sometimes it could be a pain. But the bottom line is, they're not afraid to approach you because they got bills to pay. They spend a lot of money in their businesses. And you mean to tell me all these years Port Zante has been down there, the amount of CBI holders will have been here having businesses, and we ain't having to learn how to give customer service? That these people even have to come and bring in their own spas, and they're the one that is giving customer service to us. We can do it too. We can do it. We can do it if we focus on the positive and stop focus on the negative and think that you can just run to social media to rant. From when big men come like that on social media, the majority of petition is men on social media. Negative, disrespectful, the way how they speak to women and those kind of things. It is so sad. It is very, very sad. And when I see a number of them, they flock my inbox. And I'm like, what they come in my inbox for to do? What they come in my inbox for to do? Come me forward. I am high maintained. And me ain't got to be rich to be highly maintained. I'm high maintenance because I set that standard. And I won't compromise myself, my worth. Been there, done that. We need stronger women and trailblazers in this country. Before I signed out, I also want to talk about, but I'm going to continue this next week. I also want to talk about the politicians and the executive branch, the political business in this country. What does it take to become a politician and be on their executive branch? We got to be very careful of who we're bringing in our space, because a lot of those political parties are carrying a lot of toxic people. When I say toxic, a lot of them know that the people them damage and the toxic, the confusion, the disrespectful, and they still have them. And what the voters don't know is only after. When you vote those parties in and they become the government, it's those toxic, selfish, confusion, narcissist people that are working with them that's going to be our government and our leaders. So what really makes somebody the right to become a politician in St. Kitts and Nevis? And when you look again, like I said, the executive, the people that they have on the executive branch, some of these people never even work like that or exposed like that to people. Some of them are not even people's people. So we got to be so careful. But this will be our next topic. Who are these people in our country we call it politicians and executive branch? Because some of them are a set of selfish, mean, ungrateful, just everything bad. And these are the people that are making up our government. Have a wonderful night. I am Lavi Gumbs. Next week, same time, same place. Hopefully the mic will be working and persons that want to call in, they can continue to call in and bring their, bring their ideas, bring your solutions, and let's have real talk. Continue to bring the positive messages right here in our beautiful island, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good night.
For a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join Azar Gumbs, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7.
Let's Get Real on winnfm. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's Get Real Wednesday nights at 8 on